so you feel equipped and empowered to do open houses and at least know what the goals of the open house are. And then I'm going to finish with, just for Josh, I'm going to finish with the summary close and the reservation close, which is what I call my moneymaker. So the summary close and the reservation close, and then I'm going to give you a little preview about what starts next week. So let's go around the room. Again, we have 60 minutes, so I want to kind of keep this moving. Who has had something good happen in their real estate career that they would like to share? Anybody? I need some action here. Somebody. Anything. Yes, Brenda. Thank you.
I actually am working with 3 separate couples.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they all were actually just random leads that I managed to, or still working on one to turn them into a client. But using that, I forget now the terminology, but it's the, can we meet Wednesday or Thursday?
The alternate advance.
And it worked.
Jim knows this. Jim was a realtor for many years and has been a top producer in another marketplace, so he and I kind of kid around about this.
But it worked.
That's the alternate advance, and it's perfect for making the appointment. You know what he should say? I'll go. Poor Griff has to move around. Yeah, so that worked. And were these internet leads?
Yes.
Okay, so internet leads, just to divert for 1 second, the important thing that you probably experience with internet leads is it's more important to be quick than it is to be good.
Yeah.
Like if you're slow and great, you're not going to get that lead.
Well, I was quick just because I didn't know anything else.
Quick, you can be quick and below mediocre and have a shot at an internet lead. And then if you take some of the skills that you'll learn from this class to turn that into an appointment, and let me tell you something, you should pat yourself on the back because converting an internet lead to an appointment, it's hard.
Yeah, it was, but I don't know, I didn't know what, I've never done it before.
So nobody told you it was hard and you were able to do it. I love it. Good, great. And you tossed out the alternate advance and nailed down an appointment. But just remember the one thing about internet leads, it's most important to be quick. And you'll be on fire when you're quick and great. You're not going to be great yet because if this was a basketball team, we're still developing your left hand. You know, we're still teaching you how to play defense. We're going through some fundamentals. So the greatness will come, but the quickness is something that's just an attitude.
And one was actually, I think, surprised that I had called within, I don't know, half an hour or so of getting the lead. So.
Because if you stare at an internet lead, which I'm guilty of.
It was kind of intimidating.
I'm guilty. I've stared at it. Oh, golly.
Yeah, I did that.
And then you finally respond and break through. So good for you. Good, good, good. Any other victories, please? Come on.
That one I texted you about.
Tell us about
last
that.
week, ran into a guy at the ice skating rink that I'd known from UVA. We used to go rock climbing together for the outdoors club. And he was like, "Oh, hey, what's going on?" And it was a little bit tough. I literally had 2 kids hanging off of me, my daughter and some other stranger at the ice rink. We were like pushing them around on buckets, and I just kind of went into the whole FORD stuff.
Awesome.
What are you up to nowadays?
Awesome.
He's like, yeah, I'm moving down here. I was like, I just got into real estate and I did the porcupine back and forth a little bit. And he said that he was moving to Charlottesville and he was just talking to his girlfriend about how they should buy a house. So I was like, oh, well, call me up, and then tried to hit him up with a messenger, but then I'm sort of trying to figure out where is the line between following up and not being too pushy.
Right, over aggressive.
So,
right, yeah. And we can talk about that. You sort of get your instinct there, and you sort of treat somebody like you would like to be treated, and if you feel like you're getting the Heisman from somebody, you might be. But but I would probably go one step further than that. But my follow-up with them would be, let's just get together. Let's have a cup of coffee. Let's talk. Let's catch up. That phrase, I hate it, and I find myself using it. People use it on me all the time. Hey, Jim, let's get together and catch up. Man, that works. I hate it.
I
don't want to catch up with somebody.
In one of the messages I sent to him, I said, let's catch up.
Hey, I'd love to catch up with you.
Almost the
Gosh,
same
it works.
Catch up.
And you'll find how many people do that in the sales business when your buddy who's selling insurance is pounding on you to say, let's get together, let's catch up. That must be what they teach at like Northwestern Mutual or something. Because those guys will pound you until they get an appointment. But it works, and it's friendly, and as long as you, hey, let's catch up, and then you go into Brenda's, is, Thursday or Friday afternoon better? The kid thing, though, just so you know, I've used my kids, I hate to say, I mean, out of necessity, I kind of used them as props. When my first was, so she's now my oldest, she's 23 years old now, but I remember going on a listing appointment with her because mom was out with the girls, and I was going to get a listing signed. And what I found was very useful was that gave you an easy way out of the meeting. It's like, oh yeah, great. And they kind of appreciated, dad with the child, and they kind of saw the struggle and everything. But then it was
she at the time?
She was not even walking yet, so less than a year. I mean, little baby. And so I was like, yeah, and just sign here.
You're the actual Heisman with a baby under your arm.
Baby's, she didn't mind me using her as a prop, but it was kind of the working dad thing, and but again, for me, what was nice is I could get in and out quickly. Let me brag on Missy. Missy came to my open house. Just so you know, I do an open house every Sunday, every single Sunday. Sometimes I do 2 open houses on a Sunday. My plan, just so you know, I just reveal it to you. You can use my plan or not. My plan is to outwork my competition. I work a lot in Glenmore, and I'm trying to outwork my competition. My competition hates doing open houses, and so the more they hate doing open houses, I fired up. I do one sometimes from 11 to 1 and then 1 to 3. I mean, I'll double up in there, and I'm just trying to run laps around my competition. But here's the thing. I have found that buyers walk into open houses. I've found, and I shared with you guys a couple weeks ago, the great listing that broke the ice for me kind of this year. That was the beginning of kind of the market revival for me. By the way, let me just dovetail off of that. Those of you that were here, Christopher, I know you'll follow me because you've listened to this story a couple times. I'm at an open house at Piper. This couple comes in. I'd seen them a few times. I wasn't even very good at the open house. I told you I couldn't remember their name. Friendly people, and they said, we want to sell our house in Glenmore. What's the next step? They just came up right to me and said that. And I said reflexively that what you need is for me to come to your house and give you an assessment of your property. And then I went into Brenda's, is during the week or the weekend better for you? Got the appointment, got the listing, sold them another piece of property in the meantime, and that listing just went active this past Friday, and in my email box this morning is a full price offer on that listing. That doesn't happen every day. In fact, it's very rare in this business, but all that happened as a result. All that happened as a result of an open house. And again, I wasn't even very good at that open house. I mean, if you walked in, you'd be like, who's the stooge over there? I mean, I just wasn't on my game. But I was there, and I was able to finally wake up enough to get the appointment and get some business out of it. Missy is in this open house, and all she wants to do is shadow me at the open house. That's all she wants to do. That's all she signed up to do. Well, as it ended up, right before the open house, I get a text, and somebody wants to see a house a couple doors down, and so I leave Missy all alone at the open house, and I can tell she was like, thanks a lot. Thanks. But I went through a little bit of open house 101 with her, which we're going to cover again, And I said to her, and we're going to cover this in a minute, I said, here's the spiel, and if it's great if you can just do that, just the spiel and be pleasant and be there. But if you're really up for it, the goal of the open house is to get them to sign in. I don't feel like you have to do that. This is your first open house. It took me months before I was able to get the courage to ask somebody to sign in at an open house. And so I went, showed the property, came back, and I was like, hey, Missy, how'd it go? And I thought she was going to have nobody at the open house, but she ended up, I'm bragging on her, she ended up having 3 people come in. All 3 signed in, and 2 of the 3 are, I'm telling you, live pieces of business. So doing open house is a very important part. The great thing about being in real estate, you're an independent contractor. If Bart doesn't like to do open houses, you don't have to do open houses. If you can get business off of Facebook, which by the way I do too, and we'll talk about that in this class, or you find another way, you're an internet guy or an email guy, whatever works for you. But I'm just telling you, for me, the open house is a moneymaker. I need one more, just because I have to catch my breath before we go into house and market. Anybody?
I was going to say, so it's not necessarily an
Kirsten.
accomplishment,
Yeah, come
but
on.
it's like a learning thing, because I heard y'all talking about how you have to hop on the internet referrals.
Mhm.
And I actually kind of learned that firsthand yesterday, because my friend that works at Wells Fargo apparently had pre-approved someone and was like, here's 3 realtors. And what's funny is I was looking at a car in Minnesota, and so I get a call from a Minnesota number, and I was like, oh, that's the car dealership, like, I'll just call them back. And they didn't leave a voicemail. I was like, well, that's weird. And then I hopped in the shower and didn't think much of it. And I was like, okay, well, that's weird. The sales guy didn't leave a message. And then I ended up meeting with her for dinner because we were going to talk about everything. And come to find out, like, we started catching on, and catching up, and I realized, I was like, wait a second. I was like, that Minnesota number wasn't the car dealership. It was actually your guy. Because then he was calling, and then he was actually apparently neither of the 3 realtors had called him right back. So he ended up going to the house he wanted to see out in Lake Monticello, and he was putting on an offer in on it right then and there, basically, and talking to her about the pre-approval and getting a love letter and everything like that. So I realized, I was like, crap. I was like, that one call, and I missed it. And it's like literally like 6 hours later, and I'm having dinner with her, and he's like already putting in an offer on that house. I'm like, oh crap.
Only takes once or twice for that to happen to you.
I was like, oh heck no. I don't care if it's a car dealership, I'll answer next time.
I would say in this business there are we're going to cover a lot of fundamentals in this business, but a couple of the fundamentals, as we've already talked about with Brenda, is to respond quickly to leads. Respond quickly to leads. Don't stare at it. Don't overthink it. Just hop on it. And then the other thing is, this is so basic, but you'll find, especially when you're doing deals with people, you'll find other realtors don't do this, but return calls promptly. Return them promptly. Give decent customer service to people. Call them back. Call your fellow realtors back when they call and ask about. Call. Let them know, or text them, or at least communicate. That's just kind of as you build your business, that's just fundamental. Let that be part of your DNA. I respond quickly. I'm on it. Now,
even if they don't leave an email or a voicemail.
Yeah.
I'm starting to learn that, because if they don't, they'll go to the next person.
Exactly.
So after that, I was like, okay, no voicemail. I still need to start responding and just call back and see who it is, basically. So lesson learned from that yesterday.
It's all part of it. Moving into how's the market. So you guys, as new licensees, are going to get hit with that a lot with your friends, people you know, when you go to networking events. It's just a common conversation question. How's the market? Here's my answer to that right now. Under $700,000 in Charlottesville and Albemarle, the market is very hot right now. What does that mean? Hot means that homes are selling and homes that are priced well are selling quickly. So it's a seller's market under 7. It's a real seller's market under 5. So if you are a 399 guy, you are in, this is a really good time for you to sell. Case in point. Friend of the family needed to sell her house in Key West. Key West subdivision, 20 North. You guys know where that is? 20 near right by Dardentown Park up that way. The owner is already moved into Westminster, Canterbury, and so we were getting the property ready for sale. There was a lot to do. We had to throw out a lot of stuff. By the way, in this particular one, to get it ready for sale, we brought in a dumpster because there was so much to throw away. And you can get that from Vanderlinde Recycling. They have dumpsters. They'll just drop it off. And so I got my 2 sons, and we just took, boxes. After family members had gone through and realized that all this was trash, we just threw stuff into the dumpster. You call Vanderlinde, they pick up the dumpster, and it's gone. And it's a great, easier way when people are like, how do we get the house ready? You got so much stuff to throw away. We did take a lot of stuff to Goodwill. That's the other thing. You can box it up and take it to Goodwill if you think there's any value to it. Check it. Goodwill's up on Pantop's, the one we went to. But back to how's the market. Finally got it on the market. It took us 2 months to get it ready to get on the market. We put it on the market. Allison, maybe you can remember, but it was, I think it was 2 weeks ago. I put it on the market. And we sold it in 48 hours. So when people are saying, how's the market? Man, under 400,000, it's a great time to sell. So let's personalize that. How's the market? If Christopher owns a property and he asked me, how's the market? And we started talking, and the property he owns is under 400. And I just toss out there, under 400 is hot as firecracker right now. You may get from him, well, gee, maybe I should consider selling my property. That's kind of a natural reflex. If it's a hot market and it's a seller's market, and I own one of those, it's just like if I'm in the car business and it's a hot car sale time, great time to sell my BMW or whatever it is. It's a great time to sell your under $400,000 home. Christopher is going to seize that opportunity to try to give an assessment of their property, and we'll walk through how to price a property. We'll give you all the tools you need to price a property. But how's the market? Under 400 is hot. It's hot right now. I mean hot. And then when people are like, well, how's the rest of the market? Well, I can tell you, because here's the danger. When you go on about how hot the market is, for better or worse, I have a significant amount of listings that are over 750. And I can tell you, over 750, it's still tough. At $1 million, $1.2 million, there's a lot of inventory. And so it's almost, sort of making this up as I go along, Josh, but here's the truth. It's kind of a tale of 2 markets. There's a seller's market going on. That sounds pretty good. Are you recording this? It's a tale of 2 markets. Something in that tea I drank on the way over here. Under 700, it's a seller's market. Great time to sell. Over 750, over 800,000, it turns pretty quickly into a buyer's market. And when you crest over $1 million, now I'll still list your home, but I'm going to tell you, it's hard to sell over $1 million right now. There's just not that many volume of buyers over $1 million yet. It remains to be seen. The future remains to be told in the upper end marketplace. And what usually happens is it fires up at the lower end and it starts moving up. And the question is, will it move up over $1 million? That's the $1 million question for a lot of my clients. We're kind of walking by faith that we are really hoping that it does. But right now, so I want you to at least be able to be equipped with how's the market. I want you to be able to have a dialogue with people about, golly, it's as hot as it can be. And you can pick your number, but the truth is it's 500 is probably the dividing line. Under 5, hot. Forest Lakes, hot. Tim Carson just listed a property. Forest Lakes had 17 showings on it and just sold it, right? So back to my great client that walked into my open house, we listed their house for $649. My assessment came in that they should list their property for $700,000, maybe even a little higher. First time I've ever had kind of this argument with a seller where they wanted to list it lower than I wanted to. And they said, well, we really want to sell it. And I said, okay, $675. And they said, we really, really want to sell it, so we ended up at $649. I was telling them I think that's too low. But they were right because they got the quick contract, and that's what they were looking for. So any questions on how's the market?
I have a question. As you know, I have someone who's looking to buy some property in the city, and it's going to be investment property, and they want to know how the market is from that perspective.
Yeah.
If they're going to be a buyer.
Yeah. How much is for sale in the city and the price range they're looking at?
Well, that I don't know because she just changed the ballpark.
Okay,
she changed the game on me.
Prior to that,
the property that she was originally looking at was like $350,000, but again, she changed from a home to now they want a condo or a townhouse with no maintenance.
Okay.
So she's changing all around on me. But she said that when I meet with her husband, who is an investor by profession, that he wants to discuss the market. I'm like, okay.
So the challenge that Allison has, and I get this challenge, is first of all figuring out what the heck these folks want to buy. I'm still not clear, but
I'm not either, but it's getting better.
It's getting more.
And I learned
yeah.
from the school that you can. This is something you may need to know at some point. Is if you live in the county, your children can go into the city schools if you pay the fee, which is around $1,600. It's getting ready to go up as of April the 1st. It's getting ready to go up. You cannot be what they call out of district and change county schools. County schools won't accept somebody from another district. Only city schools will.
Yeah, so hear that because we get that a lot. If I buy in Albemarle High School district, but my kid wants to go to Western, can they do that?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
I've run into that. It's just they won't let it.
Right.
They won't.
So, but you can go to a city school if you're willing to pay the price. But you have to apply every year and you have to be approved, and not everyone's approved. So what I learned, I couldn't understand why they live in Ednam, they want to stay there, they want to stay in the county, but they wanted to buy some property in the city so their child could attend a city school. Well, that has to be your primary residence. Right. It can't just be an investment property. However, if you own property in the city and your child goes to the city school and you're willing to pay that, she doesn't have to reapply every year. Okay. So once she's in the system,
they won't kick
then
her out.
she's guaranteed for the next, she'll be a freshman next year, then she can pay the $1,600, $1,700, $1,800, whatever it is, but she's guaranteed a spot in CHS.
Great
so
knowledge.
That is the value in that. And of course they're interested in some investment property anyway, so they figure, well, they'll kill two birds with one stone.
Right.
And we went from a two-family home to maybe a townhouse or a condo because now the in-laws aren't going to invest, blah, 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 blah. So we're just, trying to put together a puzzle and get a new piece here and a new piece there.
Probably haven't even been on MLS to do a search yet to find out what's for sale, condo or
No, because I just got that email as I came into the driveway.
Just watch what happens. Condo townhome in the city of Charlottesville between 200 and 400,000.
Okay, well, I'll say
very little.
She did specifically ask about Charlottesville Towers. Does anybody know anything about that?
Where is Charlottesville Towers?
I have no idea. I never heard
Okay.
of it.
Yeah. Is that the one that's
Is it the new one?
near the fire department on Ridge? Not sure.
I don't know.
I'm
Anyway,
guessing.
I don't know because, like I said, literally I got that email as I was coming in the
Let
drive.
me Google that for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You got me so curious now.
Why did they want to, or what school were they zoned for that they were?
They're zoned for
moving away
Western.
from?
Western, I asked that same question because typically people want to go to
I
Western.
mean,
They have a child who is interested and very talented in the arts
I
in
was gonna say,
Charlottesville.
is it the symphony orchestra or is it the drama?
I think it's more
program?
drama,
Huh.
but I'm not sure. But whatever, CHS offers something in the arts that she is interested in.
I didn't go to CHS, but I know that the symphony is like nationally ranked usually. Like it's a pretty fantastic program there for violin.
I mean, like half the
band
players
and all
of Dave Matthews Band played for
Right.
CHS. Yeah.
Right.
They're pretty good.
What is their new price range?
I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't know the old price range.
Well, but
I just know that
idea-
the original house that several of us went to see, the
Yeah.
property several of us went to see on Monday, was $350,000.
Okay, but the drop to condo or townhome is due to a change in money toward investment, correct?
Say that again?
So the reason they're changing to a townhome or condo is because they have less to invest in this.
No, it's because less upkeep. They don't want to keep up
Oh,
the
okay,
property.
okay, that's understandable.
So another thing that I had heard or been talking with a friend about is one of the couples can get the house registered and then change their
I support
address.
Tim Carson.
I don't know if they've looked into that, but another friend of
Thank
mine
you,
did
bud.
that because
How about?
you couldn't rent this city of Charlottesville changed the Airbnb rules so that you can't, just own a house to have it as a strictly Airbnb rental. It has to be your residence. So they already owned a house. They bought
Right.
another investment property. He renovated it. Half of it's a full-time rental. The other half is an Airbnb apartment.
Okay.
And he's able to do that because he changed his driver's license, so that is his address, which might be something worth looking into for your
They
folks.
might be. Although, as she says, it's really not the $1,600, $1,700, $1,800 that they're concerned with, because that's what I couldn't understand.
Yeah.
Why do you, I mean, it's way cheaper to pay $1,600 than it is to buy real estate. I mean, why is that a
It's a
good
lot cheaper
investment?
to
I
say
can't
it's
figure that
just
out,
a
right?
mistake.
Yeah, I mean, I can't figure, and she's coming from a private school anyway, so they're getting what I call a pay raise anyway, because the private school tuition per year is way more than the $1,600. So I couldn't figure that out. So she finally clued me in. The reason is because once she's on the roster, she's guaranteed a spot. I'm like, oh, thank you for telling me that after we've
Who
been
knows
around
the
this bush.
city? 511 North First Street.
What about, is that what it
That's-
is?
yes.
So, yeah, that's like,
Yeah, well,
that's
no.
like pretty much downtown.
That's north downtown.
Yeah.
And First Street is Hamilton's. Hamilton's is right at First and Main.
Well, what was the address
So
again?
500 North is probably 5 blocks
511.
north of there. So that's like on the other side of High Street, maybe? Oh, it is on the other side of High Street. I think I know where that is. I think I had a friend that lived there.
Pictures look good.
Fuzzy.
Okay.
I think I do know where that place is.
All right, well, that's actually, I think it's going to be more fun. Condo and townhome
Yeah.
is more fun than that thing in Belmont.
I think-
Moving, we got to do open house quickie, the summary close and the reservation close, and we're covering that in 25 minutes, so I'm going to speak really quickly here. Open house quickie. I've already told you I'm a huge fan of open houses. And let me also say this. To prepare for my open house, this is what I do, but I'm trying to think about how you could apply it. So if it's not your listing and you're just subbing for somebody else in their open house, which I've done plenty of those in my career, it's a great way to meet buyers and get your name out there. What I like to do, what I'm trying to get at, is I like to spin it around social media where I am. And so I've tried everything there is to try out there so far. I'm willing to try something else. I'm experimenting with something else right now on the web that's not ready to be disclosed. But what the big ones, so Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. I cover those four, but the truth is, you can throw out everything other than Facebook. Facebook is where all the eyeballs are. It's where I get all the juice on social media. And so in order for Kumar to do anything on Facebook, what I have found, I'm not an expert, but what I've found is you're going to need to build a Facebook fan page. So you need a business page, you need your personal page first, and once you've done that, you could, Jim Stewart, real estate, or whatever you want to call your Charlottesville Insight, or whatever. You call your business page what you want to call it. Once you have the business page, there's a little work in setting that up, and I'm not the one to do it. In fact, David Griffin is a great one to help you set up your business page.
Yes.
Once you've set up your business page, you can then post things on your business page, and then you can boost it. Boosting is the greatest thing that's ever happened to my open house business for $7. So I can put an ad in the Daily Progress, and no offense to my friends at the Daily Progress, I still do this from time to time. And it costs me $100 to have a little itty-bitty ad in the Daily Progress on Sundays, which I'm not convinced anybody actually looks at the newspaper anymore, but I do that kind of out of habit. But the reality is, that's $99. Sorry, Daily Progress. 99 bucks I'm tossing away. Because when you look at Facebook, $7, $10, if you spend $20 on a boost, who here has boosted? You've boosted? I mean, the amount of views or likes you will get on Facebook for $10 is redonkulous. It's incredible. So what I do, tell me your name again.
Lori.
Hi, Lori. So Lori, I will, and this, it takes some time to set up all of this, so you're not going to have it set up overnight, but once you at least know where you're going, you set up your business page, and then I like to do a video, and then I put it on my business page, and then I boost it for $10. That boost, you have a couple of choices how you want to boost. I just boost it right off of my phone. If you're to go onto your laptop or your desktop, you can get much more detailed on your boosting. For me, there's two places that I like to boost. One choice is it gets sent to everybody who likes your page and all of their friends. So starting to understand the quantumness of that. So for me, I'm friends with, I like my own page. I'm friends with 5,000 people, I think, on Facebook, because I've been at it a while, and so, you know, I know a lot of people, and so 5,000 people I'm friends with, and then I haven't done as well on my business page. I probably have 1,200 people that like my business page. But when I boost it off of my business page, all 1,200 people and everybody that they're friends with, this video shows up in their feed. So $10. With the translation of that is that for $10, I get 2,000, 3,000 views of my video. And so when you talk about the best way to publicize your real estate business for $10, my goodness, Facebook is where it's at. Instagram, I'm not as good yet, but I'm working at it on Instagram. Yeah, I may get 40 likes on Instagram is a good day for me. I haven't cracked the code on Instagram yet. I tossed it out on Twitter. I got a zillion people that I'm connected to on Twitter, but when I go into Twitter analytics, I don't get that much juice on Twitter. And then LinkedIn, you know, it's another 5,000 people I'm connected with, but I don't think anybody runs to their phone today to check their LinkedIn feed or Google Plus. And so I've tried the whole social sphere. Facebook's where it's at. That was a long-winded way of saying Facebook's where it's at. I do my open house and I boost it on Facebook. I could have saved you all a lot of time. I should have just said that quickly. I do an open house and I boost the heck out of it on Facebook. Okay? So even if I get nobody at my open house, 2,000 people know that I've been doing an open house. And so when I'm out there kind of walking around, I'll bump into somebody and they'll be like, hey, how was your open house? I mean, I go to church and Martin Herrard, hey, I see you were doing an open house. How'd it go? Nobody came, but I'm glad you saw the video. I'm glad, but the reality is I'm talking to them about it. Open house. So there's the fundamentals for me is to do the open house. If you're not ready to boost it, don't boost it. You'll meet with David and get your Facebook fan page and take baby steps. But that's all part of building your career. And once you have a Facebook fan page, do an open house and boost it. Do the open house and boost it. And do it every Sunday forever. That's my advice. You don't have to take it, but that's my advice. Then when you're working the open house, here's the open house quickie. Nikki, I think you've heard some of this before, so I'm going to race through this. But here is what happens at the open house. People come into the open house and they really don't want anything to do with me, the realtor. I don't take that personally. They want to come into the open house and they don't want me to bother them. That's their mindset. For me, my mindset is I'm not going to bother them, but I'm going to be extremely pleasant, maybe even overly pleasant. So when they come in, the first thing I'm going to do is greet them. I'm not going to pounce on them, and you have to kind of figure out your personality in this, but I'm going to be very nice. I'm going to force a smile on my face. And for me, I do a lot of my open houses in Glenmore. This weekend it's Ashcroft, so let's take Ashcroft for example. Hey, welcome to Ashcroft, and I'm giving some space here. Hey, welcome to Ashcroft. I'm Jeff Gaffney. Thanks for coming. And most people will offer up there, hey, Jeff, my name's Jim Smith or whatever. Most people will give that back. If they don't, I will try to prompt it out of them at some point. But most people I found, about 70%, will say, hey, Jeff, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Josh Tracy. Yeah, good. Thanks for coming on in. Well, I very quickly welcome them into the home, and here's how I work. I say to them, what I'd like to do, Josh, is, actually, do you mind role-playing with me just a little bit? You've seen some of this, and so I'm going to run through it. But hey, Jeff Gaffney, welcome to Ashcroft.
Thanks.
Josh, thanks for coming. What I'd like to do, Josh, if you don't mind, is tell you a little bit about the home. And what he wants is for me to set him free. And that's what I'm going to do. So my spiel to him is, hey, Josh, what I'd like to do is tell you a little bit about the house and then let you go. And then I'll be here for any questions. But this home was built by Rick Byer, and as you can see, has the beautiful mountain views here. It's on the market for $997. It's 6,000 square feet. Has a first floor master bedroom. Has a second floor master. And then when you go all the way up, it has this really cool attic retreat. Make sure you go up there. But Josh, enjoy your time in here. I'm here to answer any questions, and I'll meet up with you somewhere in the tour. Lots to see. So have at it. Sometimes I give them the flyer right here. Sometimes I just let him go. Just kind of depends on what his vibe is. If he stands like this, like he's not ready to leave yet, I'll very quickly get into number one question: where are you from? I'll very quickly get into a conversation. If he's not racing, I want to find out where he's from, because if he's from Northern Virginia, I got a lot of catching up to do. If he's renting in Ashcroft, well, I need to know that too. So I need to kind of know what his perspective is, because once I've done my spiel with letting him loose, I'm now trying to kind of figure out what's his angle, what's he, and can I help? Can I add any value to his life at all? And so let's just kind of role play that out. Where are you from, Josh? You do whatever you want.
I'm from Warrenton.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, might be looking to move down here. Getting a little tired of driving into DC, and they offered me a position down here, so.
Ah.
Yeah.
So you think you might be working down here?
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you know where yet? Are you still looking?
Kind of over on 29 North, one of those federal buildings.
Oh,
over
yeah,
there.
gotcha. Cool. Well, you'll love Charlottesville. Are you familiar with the area at all?
Sort of. I've been down to some of the concerts down at the pavilion.
Yeah.
Bands come through every once in a while, but yeah, not much otherwise.
What's your favorite concert you came down to, by the way? Just kind of curious.
Let's see, what was the name of the people? They had the huge ball that was rolling around on top of the crowd. We got kind of loose that night. It was a little fuzzy.
Is that the Flaming Lips or
The
something?
Flaming Lips.
Flaming
also,
Lips.
yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't there. But my kids were, so I heard it was fun. Oh, well, that's cool. Well, let me ask you, how many are in your family?
4.
4. So, boys, girls?
Yeah, my son is 15 and my daughter is 6.
Awesome. What do they like to do?
My son is pretty good at soccer.
Mm.
And yeah,
Pretty
my
popular
daughter
around here.
hasn't quite figured it out. We're taking her around to other stuff, dance, and
Yeah.
she hasn't found her passion just yet.
Cool. Time out. So if he stays in the pocket with me, like doesn't run away from me, I'm going to just start pulling it out of him. One question at a time. I just start pulling it out. Where are you from? How many are in your family? What do you do for a living? I've kind of covered all of that. And then, at some point, I am starting to think about how can I turn this guy into a client? Like, how can we work together? And so that's my brain the whole time is going to be thinking, how can I get another appointment? How can I get another appointment with this guy? And I might not be able to. I might not be able to crack the code. I might be off my game again. But the thing I am going to do is, based on our little rapport here, again, he'll probably want to go see the house and maybe somebody else has walked in. That happens a lot at this time of year. So I've got Josh here, and so let's pretend somebody else walked in, and I turn him loose, and so just start walking that way. So Josh here, and I'll probably maybe even give him a little touch and say, have a go with the house. Before you go, if you could do me a favor and just sign in so we can kind of keep track of everybody today, that would be awesome. And so I've set the stage for him. I like to set the stage up front. Sometimes that works. Sometimes I can't get the words out. Sometimes I have to ask when he's done. But I like to kind of plant that seed at the front end, let him loose, try to buddy him up, and then before he goes, the goal of this open house is for me to get him to sign in with his name and his address. Well, no. Name, email, and phone number. That's what I'm looking for. If I can get him to sign in, I've got myself something to follow up with during the week. And it's my job to, again, kind of be thinking. And so turned him loose. Somebody else is walking in. I'm starting to kind of move around like this, a little bit like an octopus, saying hi to everybody. Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. Good. Yeah, thanks for coming to the open house. What'd you think of the home? Good. Great. Try to touch everybody. But before this guy leaves, he's now gone through the whole house. He's on his way out. And I'll make sure I put the pen in his hand. Josh, if you don't mind, if you would just sign in the open house sheet, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you, bud.
I have a quick question.
Hold on one second. Let me get to that in a second. And so he signed in and say, so are you guys like actively looking for a home right now, or are you just trying to get a feel for the area?
Yeah, we're just getting a feel for the area, and we might be moving in a few months.
Let me ask you this,
Don't
Josh.
interrupt the kids in school.
If you were to describe the perfect home for you and your family, what would that look like? I can't always engage in this conversation, but sometimes, again, if he's sticking around, I got to kind of keep it flowing. And if I can get him to dump on me what his perfect home is, tell me about the perfect home for your family.
Couple of acres, maybe a little bit of privacy, so we don't have the neighbors right on top of us. A garage, flat yard, something like that.
You have an idea on budget where you're hoping to be, or are you still
Um,
trying to figure out the?
Yeah, it sort of depends on, what we get for
Mhm.
a place up in Warrenton.
What'd you think of this
Maybe,
home?
maybe 500, 600. Really nice. I like it a lot. It's got great views and yada, yada, yada.
Good. So I'm going to just try to kind of hang in there with him as long as he'll hang in there with me. And again, I'm waiting for the epiphany of what can I do to get to tee up my next appointment. And if I have the courage going that day, it may be, just right here and say, hey, listen, would you be interested in going out and letting me find some property for you?
Yeah, maybe. We got a little bit of time before we have to go back to Warrenton. I don't know. Maybe right after this.
So what I'll do.
So you're lying.
Well, yeah, thanks. It won't fall in like that. But what I'll do, because he'll say, yeah, well, maybe. What I'll do, and I'm going to let him know, I'm going to follow up with it. What I'll do is I'll send you some stuff, kind of my greatest hits based on a little bit of what you've told me. And I'll be out there, kind of looking for what I think you described. And I'll send some stuff to you, and then when you come to town again, maybe we can hook up and I'll show you a few things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Good, man. Thanks for coming in.
All right.
Nice to meet you. Good luck with everything. And so, at least I've established some rapport with him. I've sucked some information out of him. I'll come to your question. Sucked some information, and I got him to sign in, and I planted the seed that I want to help him relocate to Charlottesville. Question.
Okay, so I've done an open house, and I've done ask people to sign, and I don't stand over them while they're
Yeah.
signing or anything. So
Yeah.
I look at the list at the end of the day, and I can't read it.
I know.
So how do you,
That is-
before they leave,
That
make sure
is the
that you
bummer. Yeah.
get the,
Mhm.
because you can't go, oh, I can't read it. Can you, do you do that? And
So, Kimber Kelly has them
type it in.
type into her little iPad.
Okay, yeah.
I'm
There's
not
a great app for that. I can't remember what it is,
the
but it's the one Kimber was
open house
saying.
app or
Yeah.
something. I'm not that good.
And then they're also not listing it in a row with everyone else's information too visible.
Yeah, because what I was doing is after they leave, I jot down
Open Home
some things
Pro.
about them that I talked about, so that I
Yes.
would remember later.
Yes, that was what I was going to say to you. When I am in a real busy, and now if you're doing an open house this time of year, you have to plan to be busy. Sometimes it's not, but you have to be ready. And so for me, I'm a note card guy. I bring this note card in, and after Brenda and I have talked, and she's gone that way, I'm over here going, Brenda, renting, Ashcroft. And so I'll at least kind of get the guts, and then it'll be, again, she's not watching me do this. This is, I'm kind of over here. 2 kids, NGIC, Warrenton, whatever it is. I'll take my little notes, and then I at least have a chance of kind of matching up on here. And if I can get the address, or, sometimes that happens. I think maybe Kimber's thing might be better. I mean, maybe, has anybody used it?
Do you know what app it is?
It's called the Open Home Pro.
It's called Open Home.
Questions on the open house? Can y'all do that?
So 2 different parties walking through your front door.
Yeah.
And then how do you have the extended quote unquote
Yeah, I
conversation?
screwed up so bad my last Ashcroft open house. It was 2 weeks ago, and I was worried it was one of those Sundays where I wasn't going to get anybody, and I went the first hour and nobody was there. So, I was just kind of always bring a book of so I can take notes and kind of plan for the week coming up. And so I was kind of in planning mode. And what ended up happening is 3 groups walked in at the same time. And that really throws me off my game. I just want you to know that. One walks in, and then the other, and then there were some stragglers, and I couldn't kind of figure out who was with who. And so, just in full disclosure, I whiffed. I didn't get any of them. I went 0 for 3, but I tried to get enough of, whoever I saw kind of was near me. I was like, hey, what'd you think? What'd you think of the home? I mean, that's kind of, that's my last question. What'd you get? What'd y'all think of the home? And on this particular property, it's usually, gosh, we love the view. And then I tried to kind of come back and, are you with them and you with them? It's hard. You have to just kind of do the best you can. But for me, I had to force myself to be pleasant. What'd you think of the home? And see if I could get something going on. But I felt off my game.
But is there time to have that extended quote-unquote conversation on extended greeting with the FOLD stuff?
Sometimes I'll group them together,
Yeah.
and that works really well. And there's just two groups that walk in at the same time. Hey, are you all together? No, we're not together. Oh, well, let me tell you all about this property, and then I'll turn you loose. And there's safety in numbers. And sometimes they feel really good about that, and they meet a friend along the way, and they're kind of joking. And so that works really well. For me, it was the third party that was off running. But anyway, and so, hey, you guys, here's the spiel on the house, da-da-da. I'll turn you loose, and if you don't mind, before you go, please sign in. And that's maybe the best you can do.
What I've used in the past is say, please sign in so I can let the sellers know how many groups we had in today.
Yeah, yeah.
Then they
So,
kind of feel like, oh, I don't want to have the realtor, the seller mad at his realtor that he didn't tell, no, the number,
You might like
account.
that.
So they're more apt to sign.
That's good. Anybody else? 7 minutes for the summary close. Maybe this will be better. The summary close and the reservation close. Let's see, how I want to tee it up. All right. Kirsten is looking, no. This, yeah, come on. This is not in an open house, okay? This is a different setting. And I've been showing Kirsten property. I've shown her, this is my third time showing property with Kirsten. Okay, so we met, we hit it off, we looked at a couple another time, and this is the third time. The reason I bring that up is statistically for me, if I can get with you the third time, it's buying time. It's now it's time if she's able. I'm gonna try to help her buy something if the mood is right. So, Kirsten, you're gonna have to do your best to kind of role play with this. All right. So we've looked at 10 townhomes, and right now we are standing in the pavilions at Pantops. And we've been through this, and she likes it. You will find that it's apparent when somebody likes it. You don't have to like guess at it. They'll give you all kinds of physical signs that, oh gosh, we love this, we love this, we love this, we love this. And so now it's time for me to come in and help her gather her wits about her. And so through the course of looking at this townhome, this is, again, our third time out. It's our second time looking at this home. It's $360,000, which she is qualified to buy. Through the course, I've asked her some questions. And the questions I've asked her is, what do you think of the kitchen? Do you like the finished basement? Would your furniture fit in the bedrooms? Do you like the ceiling? How about the mountain view? And so I've already asked her all these questions to help her think. And now she is hanging around this home. She's hanging around. And it's my job to help her get from where she is into the buying zone. It's our third time out. This is not the first time out. Can't do this the first time. Can't even really do it the second time. It's the third time out. We now have a good relationship. We're friends. I'm her real estate coach, and I'm helping her gather her thoughts. So it goes like this. This is the summary close. Kirsten, if I've heard you right, I want to make sure I've heard you right on this particular property. If I've heard you right, this is what you've told me. You really like the eat-in kitchen with the granite countertops.
I love it. It's great. So much space.
You like the way the kitchen is open to the family room.
Yep.
This comes with a gas fireplace, and we talked about gas versus wood burning, and I think I heard you say you like the idea that you can just flip the switch for the gas.
Yes, definitely. It makes it a lot faster.
Want to make sure I understand, the finished basement is something that would be really, really good for your lifestyle if you guys were going to parties or whatever. It gives you that extra space. Is that right?
Exactly.
That's working for you?
Yes, exactly.
The master bedroom, we talked about how you think your furniture could fit. You have that one bed wall for your queen, and then your other dressers and so forth. You think all your furniture could fit in the master bedroom.
Pretty sure. I hope so.
And then lastly, you said off of the deck, you really like the fact that you get a little hint of the mountain view.
Yeah.
Like that?
I like it a lot. I do like this house.
All right.
Love the kitchen especially.
So what I've done here, what I attempted to do was to get confirmation on 7 yeses. I can get 7 yeses in a row. And it's all, I'm not guessing, these are all things she's told me because I've asked her questions about this. So through the course of our showings together, I'm going to come back and just repeat to her everything she just said. But because I'm an expert listener, I'm listening for these, and every time I hear her throughout the course of the showing say, I love the granite countertops, just realize as soon as you said that, I'm grabbing that, sticking it in my back pocket, and it's going to reappear again when I do the summary close, which is where we've headed. 7 yeses in a row. My buyer clients want to know that I have heard them. If I've heard you right, Kirsten, the kitchen, the family room, the fireplace, the master bedroom, the basement, the mountain view, and I'd have to hit you up with one more that you like that this has the full country court. Yeses, got a lot of yeses. All right, so that sets the stage for the reservation close. The summary, she confirms 7 things that she loves about this property. And I'm going to step in as her advocate, and I want you to know, again, Jim, you're new today, but you know me enough that this isn't manipulation. This is helping her buy. Because she's in a $350,000 townhome today, and if she doesn't make a decision, I'm just telling you, this isn't going to be around, and maybe this isn't the home for her, but she just gave me 7 yeses, and so I'm going to say to her this. I'm going to say, Kirsten, do you feel like this could be the home for you?
I really do. I really, really like the kitchen. I can't get over like I know it's just a little peak of the mountains, but at least it's something. Because I didn't even expect a mountain view. And then it's got the great porch, the nice big master bedroom, and then the basement. I like having little outings and stuff, so I like having people over afterwards.
All right. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to give you your answer too, because that kind of sets up the reservation. I'm going to ask you, do you want to go ahead and put in an offer today? And your answer is going to be, I think I need to think about it. You know, kind of, you're going to pause and be like, yeah, but I think I need to think about it. Okay? So we get that a lot in our business. No, I'm not ready. So, Kirsten, we just did 7 yeses in a row, teeing up the reservation close. Do you think you want to put in an offer today?
I really honestly think I need to sleep on it. I
Mm.
really, really like it, but I really think I need to sleep on it.
What if I may ask, and I'm totally into sleeping on it, I am 100% with you, and I'm on Team Kirsten here, so I want what's best for you. Notice how I'm backing up a little bit, giving her a little space, not stalking her. Kirsten, what is holding you back right now? Your answer is, let's say, the money. I think it's just, I gotta think about it, it's the money.
Well, it's the money part. I just want to kind of think about it, make sure it's like a little bit in the higher end
Mhm.
of what I was looking for. So
I get
want to
that.
see if it's sleep on it and think about it.
Mhm. Let me ask you this question. Here's the reservation clause. Now step back in. What if we could put in an offer on this property so that you're basically reserving it for 5 or 6 days to give you time to meet with your loan officer, really scrub all the numbers, get really comfortable. But here's where I'm coming from, Kirsten, since I'm on Team Kirsten. We're in a $350,000 townhome in Albemarle County. These things are flying off the shelf. If you need time, I want you to take time. But here's what I want to propose to you. There's a way for us, I believe, to reserve this home today, subject to your final approval within 5 days. Give you some time to think about it, air it out, pray about it, whatever you need to do. And then, anytime during those 5 days, if you decide that you don't want to do it, or it's not the right fit, you just let me know, and we'll exit you out of the contract. Does something like that make sense for you? I need you
That's
to say.
awesome. I didn't realize there was a way to do that. I thought it was kind of you.
I need
go right
you
with
to
it.
say, well, how do you do that?
How do you do that?
Because that's what I want. I want her to say, my goodness, how do you do that? Come with me, my friend. And then, sit down. In the back of my office. I take out the resale contract, also known as the paperwork. I take out the paperwork. I have that right here. There's sometimes fear of paperwork. I like to get it out in the open. It's right. Here's the contract. Here's the paperwork. But I take out this blank addendum. And if you don't know what an addendum is, we'll teach you. It's just it's a form that you can add notes to a contract. And I write, this contract is contingent on purchaser's final approval within 5 days, or this contract may be declared null and void with no penalty to purchaser, and all earnest money deposit returned in full. I take that around, swing it around to Kirsten, and I say, Kirsten, this is our parachute clause in the contract. So what we're doing, and I re-explain the reservation, what we're doing is we're going to fill out this like it's a regular contract to purchase, but you have this bailout clause that's going to give you 5 days to think about this property. So this, what we're doing today, is reserving this home. That's our goal, is to reserve it for you for 5 days. So this is this. We'll come back to this. And then I fill out best I can. So what we're doing, we have our contract here for $350, and here is your addendum that's contingent on your final approval. How do you feel about that?
I'm going to sign this one first, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm good with
You
that.
ready? Right there, date and sign. And then we'll go over how to fill out a contract another time, but assuming I've already done that, date and sign there. Now, let me answer the question that somebody here is going to, thank you, here is going to ask. The question is, how do you get to reserve it for 5 days? Christopher Eagle's over there, Brenda's there saying, how do you get to reserve it for 5 days? Here's what I know. It's a townhome. You get a 3-day right of rescission right off the bat for your homeowners association. I'm just asking for 2 more days. 5 days. So when I present the contract to the listing agent, I'm going to say, here's Kirsten. She's pre-approved. She wants 2 extra days to think about it. If the listing agent says, no deal, too hot of a market, too hot of a price range, then I'm going to go back to Kirsten and say, we don't have 5, we have 3. By law, you get 3. You still good with 3?
I'm okay with that. I can handle 3 days of making.
I wasn't even asking. Great, yeah, she's great. And that's how we help Kirsten ease into the contract. We are not manipulating. I promise. We are not doing any Jedi tricks here, but we are helping Kirsten get on paper, which is what she wants to do. She's here to buy the townhome, and she needs me to help her get her signature on the paperwork.
How much does she put down?
$1,000, but the contract, when you get used to the contract, it'll say, you can give that to me within 5 days, so I'm going to check the box. Within 5 days of ratification, she'll give me that earnest money deposit?
Okay, so she doesn't have to write a check that day?
No,
Okay.
no. But I have to follow up like a bulldog once it's ratified. Because the people at 29 North will almost put you in jail if you don't have that earnest money deposit in there. Questions on that? Is it too cheesy? Who could see themselves using that? Questions?
How do you not lose that if it's a hot market to somebody that doesn't have a 5-day contingency?
Yeah, so I get 3 by law. So if they say no to the 5, then we have a decision to make. But what I found is the monumental step for Kirsten is signing her name.
Doing that first part, yeah.
Yeah.
So
She-
I'm
she might
confused. She
agree to
has
free
3
off the
days
bat.
even if she hadn't signed,
That's-
giving you any money?
That's for any place with a
Homeowners Association.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
that's
Okay.
due to,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Not every time.
So that's a ratified contract, and the agent's going to go get the HOA pack right away?
Correct. Yeah. And it's my job then, once you get it under contract, though, you can't fall asleep. It's my job then to immediately get Kirsten in with the lender, kind of keep the ball rolling, how we feeling. Because what happens a lot of times is after they sign a contract, they deflate. They get, and we'll talk about that in another class, is how to deal with buyer's remorse. Happens a lot. Your job is to kind of keep them involved, keep them, don't go quiet on them once you've gotten their signatures. You need to, the fund is just started. If it's a resale, we need to schedule a home inspection. Questions, we're at the end. Gosh, I've gone overboard again. Questions, too much?
Question, can we start scheduling these to be an hour and a half long? Or is that
Yes.
too much? It might be too much, it was just a thought.
Yeah, I think the schedule has them for an hour and a half, and I always attempt to do it in an
Okay,
hour.
I just
I always
wasn't
come in and say,
sure.
we're gonna do it in 60 minutes because we're all so busy.
Okay, no, I
But
totally
I
get
always
that.
fly over it.
Okay. I have a question unrelated to reservation closing.
Yes,
Earlier you mentioned doing a Facebook video on your business page.
Yes.
And that you promote that.
yes.
What are you saying in your video?
Okay.
Or is that for
So
another
you
time?
and I should talk.
Okay,
And,
that would be awesome.
and Cynthia, Avery, and I both together or separately can help you create the strategy for your videos.
Okay.
What you want to say, what your angle is.
Can I take you out for coffee?
Yeah.
Does the week work better
I
or
like
weekend?
the days. I like it. You might have to come have coffee at Glenmore. Questions? We're done. Unless there's questions. Questions, comments? Go sell. Next week. Come next week. Next week we are going to build your perfect real estate day. So when you're at the point in your career, you're like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? We're going to help you build that next week. We're going to build out your day so you know what your day should look like each day. And a lot of it, you guys know already, two main fundamentals. If this was a basketball team and we were working, if this was Tony Bennett and we were working on defense, the two main fundamentals are prospecting and product knowledge, prospecting and product knowledge, prospecting and product knowledge. You got to get into houses, got to know the market, you got to study the market, and then you got to prospect. And we'll talk about that next week. Be free. Have fun.